I have an idea. It's quite mad. It's gonna be even more Tetris than we have already got going, so, you know, rejoice. Alright everybody, hello and welcome back then to another episode on Good Company with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to our factory out here in Freeplay mode. In the last episode, we worked a lot on getting our very first perfectly scoped out product onto the market. We redid a whole lot of this entire cassette player production out here and set up a lot of new things. Also, of course, kind of scheming ahead already how we want to do everything that is still remaining. And today we are back in order to finish this off, get the last few production stations out there, make the connections probably between this space and that one, because this one is not going to have enough space, and get the employees out there, get the logistics connections going, so we can finally get that production rolling and get the first few cassette players sold. But just quickly before we get going with that one, if you're new around here and if you happen to enjoy this video series, please make sure to smash that subscribe button right down below. That would mean the absolute world to me. We're on the road to 1k subscribers at the moment, and every single one does truly help out a ton. With that out of the way though, let's see where we left off in the last episode. Looking at the blueprint design of this Keith 700C is basically what we are looking to make now. So we do have the stereo speakers already going to my knowledge. Quadruple battery stack should also actually be underway. I guess the shortwave radio links is this thing that we still need to get going. You can see right here quad battery stacks. These are all basically single battery stacks because we need that many, in fact, to get that going. Out here is that part, so that is good to go. So it should be the shortwave radio links, and I think we also had a new sort of casing design. Well, not casing design, but a new sort of casing that we actually need to apply here. That, unfortunately, after saving, is not visible in here, so we will have to go to our info browser real quick, go to the blueprints, go to here, and that is the windowed case indeed. So that's going to be another thing to take care of. We're going to have to redo that, and I'm thinking maybe we will actually move the case production to out here, to be honest. I mean, we're going to have to see, but technically speaking, I guess we would need at least 2 case machines, because we do need the metal case first, and then we make the windowed case from that, and we cannot realistically fit that into there. For the shortwave radio link, what exact components do we need? Can we squeeze that in the space if we make some? If we take a look right here, this would be what we need. A simple circuits. And everything else is kind of, well, plastic sundries we would need. So we would need, well, I think this can be done in 1 step in bots like these. No, that actually needs 2 steps as well. But the bots are a lot more compact in terms of the space they use. I'm still not quite sure, however, that they are compact enough, to be quite frank with you. Ooh, this is not all too ideal, in all honesty. What we will do is we will definitely move the case part out there for the time being. Let go away. We'll make the space and we'll move this part out there for now. Cannot move the shelving racks because the last time we did that, everything absolutely exploded on us. But everything else about, we're just going to move. I mean, these, well, these belts, can we actually get properly rid of them? I do remember I had some issues getting entirely rid of conveyor belts. How do I get rid of that last part? Oh, that's why. Okay. So we will have to do something with all that plastic, I guess, once we get some shelving racks going right there. Well, actually, we won't need all that plastic right there. I do know that we always can use some plastic right here, most certainly, for our conveyor part stuff. Speaking of which, that's not the right place to put those. That here is, and that is mega full. Okay, great, absolutely beautiful. We're just going to stash that in there. Never mind. There's 3 empty spaces which aren't empty again. Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to have to just hope that we can get rid of those conveyor parts somehow. What I suppose we could do is we did have... Yeah, okay, that is full as well. Beautiful. We'll just throw random big shelving racks somewhere into the landscape here. Not really using this building for much of anything anyways. We're going to yank all of the stuff in that. That actually we need for research, that we need for building things. The other stuff can stay in there. Now we have space. So, I mean, these here, we can research off of for the next about 2 bajillion years. So, that's something, I guess. We will have to pull those things down. May I? No, I cannot because the employee is in the way. There we go. Just slightly able to hit that button right there. And then this automatic storage segment we'll definitely put over there. In terms of where exactly we want to put things, we'll have to see. I kind of feel that we will have this entire space up here too, because, I mean, this production space does, quite honestly, already have all that space for itself, so I'm hoping that we won't need more. And, well, down here we could also probably eventually use some space for the calculator stuff, so do want to keep some space down there. So I think we'll use a fair share of that space. Maybe not all of it if we can help it, but a good bit. So, in terms of this then, what we will need to make here is windowed cases. For the windowed cases we need 3 inputs, which means that we will need a big shelving rack. Most certainly. One that we will pull everything from, one that we will put the metal casings in, and one that we will put raw materials in. Then, what do we actually need for the other? Ooh, we need plastic parts. Well, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? We will have to see. I think we're technically making plastic parts. Yes, we are down there. I don't think we have overhangs, but we'll find about that. We will find out about that in due time. So what we'll definitely get is going to be a small case machine, once more. I think we'll end things off about there-ish if we can help it. No, actually, this alignment doesn't work due to us not being able to curve conveyor belts the way that we want to in this version of the game. So we'll maybe squeeze things on this side and leave that side to the pocket PC thing. Maybe that works. So, in terms of this, I suppose we will do a big shelving rack as well, just so we have enough storage space and, you know, in case we need any overhead input spaces. So, we will most certainly need an automatic retrieval segment, and we will also most certainly need a conveyor to connect these 2 things up. Then we will probably actually move this to the very end here to use up all the space on that side, because anything else doesn't really make sense, to be fair. And then we can totally get rid of that entire thing again. We will move that up too. Oh, actually not that far. I do need some space to move the conveyor belts through that we need in this spot, which actually means that this is kind of as far as we need to go out. Just going to keep that in there anyway, so I think it looks nice and snug and tidy in there, to be honest. Not entirely sure that's going to come back to be an issue for us, given that, you know, maybe we'll need to expand this all out here at some point, but, you know, at one point this is going to be one entire big mad Tetris, like 15 times worse than we have ever had it, basically, so let's see. Fingers crossed that's not going to become all too bad, I guess. Now, out here, you will put the big shelving rack like right there ideally, or we just keep it there. I think we may just keep it there. The thing is that of course we do need some space to turn the conveyors about the place, basically. I'm going to put that retrieval segment in the middle, because I think whatever we have coming in probably comes in from either down there, or we just put something right there to put things in. We will need storage segments. 2 of those, basically, and well, nope, that's the wrong thing way to do things, and we have encountered a bit of an issue because this one still doesn't work the way that I would have hoped for it to work. So, given that that doesn't work, let's move that, and that, and that, and that, And we will go and try that again, and hopefully we can now make all the things work. So that thing goes and kind of snakes its way around there, and then that part doesn't work. Absolutely beautiful. How do we solve this very issue? I'm thinking if we were to place it on this side of the column, it should hopefully work. Quite optimistic at this point in time, but yeah, I will probably have to move that case machine a tad bit, but that's fine. So, once more, we make an attempt of actually connecting these conveyor belts. That all flows in. I guess that maybe we will have the last case machine down here. We'll have to kind of find out how to finagle all this stuff all over the place, to be honest, but yeah, I'm thinking we'll maybe move things like that. Give the case machine a tad bit of space. I do want to have it all the way at the wall just to make sure to have a maximum amount of space here for any tables and stuff that we may need. And then we will have this retrieval machine right there. So, well, first things first, I do still have the space in my inventory, it seems. Not able to take that one out, though, so not quite sure about that. I will have to see. How do we do this? I think, well, first things first, we will most certainly require more conveyor parts. So let's grab those. Good thing we didn't actually put the other stuff into our inventory. Well, could have just offloaded it at some shelving rack, I suppose. So with these, I think what we are going to do is we're going to have a large overhead transporter. We can only, well, we cannot partially place it in the building, is the issue, I guess. So we will make that a medium. That works. And then we can have the conveyor belt come out, like, right there. Actually, that makes no sense what I just did there. Not necessarily the overhead conveyor, but more like this automatic storage segment being attached to that. That makes no sense. So, conveyor belt obviously starts where the machine starts, and then that conveyor belt will be going out right there. Now, what we can already set up is going to be some large overhead transporters right here, of course, to have some space going through there still. This here is a bit of an issue, because that's absolutely mega in the way. What we can probably do about that one, though, is moving this overhead transporter. No, what we can probably do about that one, let me restart that sentence, is moving that overhead transporter to there. Yes. Actually turning that the right way round, ideally. Blocked by its own existence, I guess. And then we can kind of have an in right there. So the idea would be to have a conveyor belt basically going through here, around there, then we have that conveyor belt coming out right here, threading that down there, up into there, and then across there, and basically into that, which is fine, I guess. So the other topic here actually being, we need another conveyor belt to come out from here, which I hope that we can make happen. This all remains accessible if I put a conveyor belt here, so if we had a shelf right there with an automated storage segment, and then we pull the conveyor belt around here, that would work. Now, the one thing that I'd have to say is that we are way too low on conveyor segments. So, unfortunately, we will have to run absolutely unprofitable, not making anything at all here for a quick minute. Because, well, I need more conveyor parts. Should have pre-produced even more, I guess. But, with that said then, so I think that at least somewhat outlines my plans here. We will have to take a conveyor belt into here, basically, which is where then the casings will be delivered in the very end. Here it shouldn't be too hard. We can put glass on there, and we'll either have, like, plastic parts being made right there and then put on, or some other way. The only interesting question here still remains, Where in the world do I want to make those shortwave radio links? I have got absolutely no idea in the world. I think the answer needs to be, we probably need to make that stuff up there. The question is, how in the world are we going to get the materials there? And how in the world do we get the materials back to there? I suppose technically we could have we could have one storage segment, two retrieval segments up here, then do the stuff out there, cross over right here, actually not move this stuff to, okay. I have an idea. It's quite mad. It's gonna be even more Tetris than we have already got going, so, you know, rejoice, I guess. For you guys, it's gonna be great. For me, not as much. We accidentally... Whoopsie. Anyways, so what we will have going on right here is we will not have any more space for this Pocket PC stuff. Already kind of predetermined, I guess. We will have then some pick and place machines, 2 of them, of course. Hopefully I'm even able to get all the materials in here. How am I going to get the electronic parts to this thing? I will need another conveyor belt, won't I? Can we thread that out of that door, maybe? God, we're using every inch of space here. It is going to be mad. That pick and place machine needs to be separate from that one. So, I mean, the idea being, of course, circuit board here, simple circuit right there, right? No. What in the world? I thought I had clicked the other machine. Apparently I clicked the same machine twice. Now I'm mega confused. So, this one, of course, here, making the metal cases for a start, but yeah. I mean, the retrieval segments should allow us to kind of coordinate which parts we want to take where, so hopefully not the biggest issue that we're taking away from 2 different things there. Up here, though, we will have to turn this thing around, basically. Put things into a big shelving rack right there. Oh, that's actually an issue too. Oh my god, how do I even want to get this? Yeah. Okay, we will deconstruct this part right here. And we will instead construct a S overhead transporter. So we just have that one conveyor belt flowing below. Because we do indeed need every tad bit of space that we can get. Now that is a bit of an issue, but we should have a few more conveyor parts. I'm just literally scheming out conveyors at this point, and we will need so many more parts, I can assure you all of that. But yeah, so that goes around the corner like that. Indeed it does. I was getting worried there for a second. And then we will have another S overhead transporter right there, which will be mega in the way of that, but that does not matter, does it? Does it matter? What else do we actually need for the shortwave radio link? No, that's the wrong button to click. God. So much chaos. So much chaos. As usual in this game, I guess. We need plastic sundries. How in the world am I going to get plastic? Well, I'm actually moving plastic parts up there. The issue is I'm moving plastic parts to the only inaccessible part of the entire factory for myself. I guess I could kind of do an intermediate thingy and then... Okay. Another change of plans. So we will need the plastic parts in another production. Jeez, I'm really starting to lose track here. So, we'll have a storage segment right here. And we'll have a corner shelf. No, that's not quite a possibility. Technically it is. So if we have a storage shelf right there, then we have... No, that's actually... Ew! This is not great. Do we have one more space to move these things down? I think we do, right? Yes. So if we have a storage shelf like that, Bear with me here for a minute, alright? Bear with me. Then we move this thing all the way down there, around there, like that. Have a storage segment like that. Now, actual employees here can access this shelf right there. At the same time, we can have a retrieval segment up there like that. Then take that conveyor belt right here, move that all the way around there like that, and put that in right there. Then we can have coming from, well, actually we can just take this overhead transporter, because I think we can just put that there. Coming from there, an overhead transporter that'll in the end transport our simple circuits out to here. Have a little tad bit of a conveyor belt right there, then have a storage segment right there like that. And then we will have a small shelving rack through which this stuff can be accessed. Now, what in the world did I want to do with this thing? Because that is absolutely mega in the way. Okay, yeah, right. This was there. So we can technically shift the alignment of that for now and put that somewhere else, the storage that we wanted. So out here we get the simple circuits, down there we get the plastic parts for our employees. The plastic parts are being taken by an employee to make these thingies. Can we make them? Yes. So we will need a precision workbench up here. That we will now place somewhere randomly. We'll move that later on. In the precision workbench, with the precision workbench, we'll be making plastic sundries, which we will require for the manufacturing of the shortwave radio link, which we will be manufacturing in or on an advanced electronics workbench somewhere closely with an employee. Now, I suppose that we can also get the electronic parts into the storage segment via this conveyor. Via that conveyor, apologies. That should work. Will it work? How many things do we actually need here? On top? We need 2 things on top. When did I ever think that we needed plastic parts for this one? Why did I ever think we would need plastic parts for this one? We need plastic parts for that one. Which shouldn't be the biggest issue in the world either. We just need to distribute the plastic parts that we make among 2 conveyor belts. Technically, it's all still working. Bear with me. I know, it's complicated. And I know we've got, like, crazy stuff going on up here. But I can promise you, this is going to be another level of mad. So, you know, it'll take a bit more time than I initially thought. But we should be able to squeeze that all in. So that is all kind of set up then, you know, we'll have like a big shelving rack somewhere, you know, already going to place one down here, and then of course that conveyor goes into it, the goods from there go into that, and then that goes out via this conveyor system down there. So what we can actually do probably, what we can actually do here, this table is actually standing kind of ideally because that's as close as possible to all the other things. My employees will have to move around here a bit, admittedly. It's not something that we can unfortunately influence all too much. That's just going to have to be the way that that works. Thinking we'll do something a little like that. And there's still other ways for employees to access this, so that's all beautiful. We will go here. No, actually go there. That's actually all fine, never mind. We will just literally put a storage segment right there. We will actually not do that because we need to move this thing one further out in order to be able to curve the conveyor belts. We will actually pull that one further out, and we will then go put a conveyor belt here, here, and here, and get a retrieval segment going like that. So that, I think, already starts making some sense. That way we can get both components back on one conveyor belt. We'll have a storage segment right there, which we can actually already put a small shelving rack in front of, which, in fact, we actually do have one, so that makes things even easier, I guess. That said, we probably need to... Nope, we don't need to delete anything from the logistics there. So, that's a start, right? That's a start. I think that already starts making a tad bit of sense. Now, what we will need as well is going to be another table somewhere. Precision workbench, of course, that we will be putting right there. And that table is going to make the plastic parts that we want. Now, the issue here being that the way that I set up this conveyor belt is actually not properly working. So we will maybe actually have to hope that works if I just do this. I hope that works. We will have to see about that one. I hope that we can actually retrieve from here onto here, and that being on the edge of the building doesn't actually bug things out. Plastic parts, basically, and we will have to put plastic parts somewhere else on some other conveyor belt. Gonna have to see which one it is. But yeah, so... well, I guess it has to be this one. Or will this require plastic parts? No, so this one here actually has to be the one that we also put that stuff on. Now, we will need another conveyor belt. We will need a conveyor belt basically right here, and we'll have to hope for the same thing, that actually works for us. Also, yeah, I guess I'm using this as a way to traverse between the factory, so I will actually mirror this a bit. And put a small overhead transport in between these so people can actually traverse through there. And we'll put another one right there. So, you know, things still remain somewhat move-throughable. Whatever you want to call that. Okay, and then we run out of the conveyor parts again. But I think that things are starting to take shape. I hope you all get a bit of an impression of what I'm trying to accomplish here. We'll basically need these two conveyors to be pulled all the way through to deliver on the one hand side the stuff for both the small cases, well, no, for the metal cases as well as the circuit boards, and then we'll have to pull the second one through for the electronic parts that we will need on top for the simple circuits. We will have to pull all that through to right there. Then we'll make the metal sundries, make the shortwave radio links, get all that up and connected, get those things over, get all the logistics going, get all the employees going. So you can see there's still a lot on the plate, and it is quite complex, honestly. But I'm hoping that we can get all that running that way. So I hope you're all liking the complexity. I'm certainly enjoying myself. Hope you are too. If you are enjoying yourself, make sure to smash that like button right down below. That does always help out a lot. And if you're new around here and haven't done so just yet, also please consider hitting that subscribe button right down below, as well as, of course, the bell icon, in order to stay up to date on all the future upcoming episodes. But with all that out of the way then, as usual everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll catch you in the next one very, very soon. Ciao.